This is our 10th video, Moanrch 5A, The Great Migration. It's all about the greatest insect migration on the planet. This is a map of the United States with its neighbors to the north and south. On the screen behind me is an overlay of the monarch population in North America. There's a western population, a smaller group of butterflies, and the Great Migration from the eastern population, which covers 3 countries, Canada, the USA, and Mexico. These are the symbols that we'll use to tell our story. This represents the 4th generation in blue. A generation includes the egg, caterpillar, chrysalis, adult, mating, back to the egg again. This illustrates the location of that particular generation. You can see it's in December, shown by the blue arrow. This arrow will change color with each generation as it goes through each month of the cycle. The monarch migration explained by these symbols. In biology, the definition of a migration includes an individual of a species going from one place to another and back again, a complete cycle. The monarch migration is unique in that it's a number of generations that complete that cycle. We number the generations however we want. We've decided that the 4th generation is the long-lived generation that spends most of its life in Mexico. On this graphic, we can see the 3rd generation is dying out. It's been replaced by the 4th generation. We're going to show you that cycle in fast motion. The blue indicates the 4th generation on its way through each month. Light blue indicates it's coming back from Mexico. White is the 1st generation, followed by the 2nd generation in green, and in red, the 3rd generation, which replenishes the population with number 4. The 3rd generation has populated most of North America. The result of their matings is the 4th generation. The 4th generation is unique. As summer wanes, the nights get longer, the days get shorter, and they shut down their reproductive instincts. They nectar a lot and build up fat reserves for the great trip south. We've got monarchs all over the eastern U.S. and southern Canada. We've selected one monarch and we'll follow it south. Starts up here in southern Canada, north of the Great Lakes, travels through a number of states. It will spend the night in little roosting sites. It will nectar along the way and continue until it funnels its way through Texas, and it will meet with other butterflies coming in from other parts of the U.S. in Texas. It will continue through Texas until it finds the transvolcanic range in Mexico, where it will locate oyamel firs in mountaintops 10,000 feet high. Here we are in central Mexico. 2 states, one state of Mexico, the other of Michoacan, on about a dozen mountaintops, 10,000 feet or higher. Sierra Chincua, for example, El Rosario, the largest site in Mexico, Cerro Pelon, and so on. They hang out in these mountaintops mostly in the oyamel fir trees, where the temperature is just right. It's cool, it's tropical because it's pretty far south, but the environment is just right to slow down metabolism and get through the winter in preparation for the trip back. In Greek, Psyche means butterfly. Psyche also in Greek means soul. So an important part of the culture in these small villages in central Mexico, the butterflies returning represent the souls of dead children returning to their homes. In Mexico, the Day of the Dead is a unique celebration of death and spirituality. They celebrate by returning to their churches. They light lots of candles. They enjoy the celebration in these mountaintops of Mexico and throughout the country. One of the things that happens in the wintertime in these mountains is heavy snows and an occasional terrible storm. If light snow falls, the butterflies will just be on the top of the snow. When things warm up, they'll fly back to the trees. If it's a wet storm with lots of moisture, millions of butterflies will die. But this has been going on for millions of years. Bad weather, killing the butterflies, they still recover. They've got it all figured out. This is the largest monarch sanctuary in Mexico. It's El Rosario. It's a tourist destination, but also the Mexican people are very proud, especially the school children. The school children communicate with each other. With this modern technology, the children in Canada and the eastern U.S. and Mexico communicate back and forth. In Canada and the U.S., they tag the monarchs. In Mexico, they find the tags. And this is a good source of communication for children of these three countries. Why is this place in Mexico so special? It's just the right temperature. It was hard work escaping from the cold winter that's about to approach Canada and the eastern U.S. Mexico is tropical, but the sites that the Mexican monarchs are in are high. So it's cool, it's just right. Metabolism is slow, so they don't burn out before it's time to leave. They will nectar each day. They'll take in water each day, but they spend most of the time in the trees just hanging out, being cool, awaiting for the proper time to leave. We've awaited the call of spring. And in February, they begin to head north. They begin to court and mate on their way to Texas. The Mexican generation lasted more than 6 months. The generations following the first, second, third, will last 2 or 3 months. They finish up their lifespan. The next generation we call Generation 1. Now the first generation begins to repopulate the eastern U.S., heads to the Midwestern states of Indiana, Tennessee maybe, Iowa, and continues to do that for a normal butterfly generation of maybe 6 weeks. The second generation fills up most of the eastern U.S. Second generation produces the third generation. And the third generation fills up the entire eastern U.S. and southern Canada. The third generation has filled up all of the eastern U.S. and southern Canada. Produces the fourth generation. Here we are in Michigan. Lots of pollination going on. Summer is winding down. The fourth generation is about to produce a different group of butterflies. The fourth generation has filled up the eastern U.S. and southern Canada. Early in their lifespan, while they are nectaring and shutting down their reproductive instincts, they are preparing for a different psychology and a different physiology for a great migration south to their overwintering sites in central Mexico.